It's a blessing.
I know.
Morẹ, step back. The river had lowered since the night it called her name, but the silence was heavier now, greater than the river did not take her that night, but from that moment, it never stopped watching. In the town of Ìlú Ayẹ̀rọ, life returned the way it always did after fear. Markets reopened. Drummers tested their talking drums beneath the iroko tree. Women spread pepper and cassava beneath the sun. Children resumed their barefoot races through dusty paths. But when Morẹ passed, voices softened, eyes lingered. Some people greeted her warmly, others avoided her shadow, because destiny had spoken, and everyone heard it, everyone except Túndé. Túndé did not believe in rivers that claimed brides. He believed in calloused palms hardened by paddles and nets. He believed in sweat, in effort, in choosing your own future and defending it with your chest. One evening, near the banks of Ayẹ̀rọ River, he stood before her with the kind of stubborn tenderness that frightened even him. "You are not water," he said firmly. "You are flesh. You are breath. You are mine." Morẹ's gaze softened at the word mine, not because she liked possession, but because she heard protection in it. "But what if I was chosen before I chose you?" she asked quietly. The wind shifted. A small ripple crawled across the river's surface. Water that had been still began to circle their ankles slowly, not violently, possessively. Túndé stepped closer. "I will not lose you to a story." She wanted to believe him. She truly did. But sometimes when she closed her eyes, she could feel something beneath her skin. A pull, a current, as though her blood remembered something older than her name. They began meeting in secret after that, at dusk when the sky bled orange, at dawn before the fishermen cast their nets, under moonlight that turned the river silver and soft. They spoke of a hut they would build at the far end of the town, of children who would run through maize fields, of a future untouched by prophecy. But the river never stopped responding. Whenever Túndé held her too tightly, the current grew restless. Whenever he kissed her forehead, the wind rose suddenly. Whenever they whispered of marriage, the water darkened. One night, as they sat close, Morẹ stiffened. "Do you feel that?" she asked. The river was humming, low, deep, like a drumbeat underwater. Before Túndé could answer, a staff struck stone. Tap, tap, tap. The high priest stood at the edge of the shrine path, white beads gleaming faintly in the moonlight, his face unreadable. "You cannot steal what was chosen." The words did not echo. They landed. The river stilled instantly. Túndé rose slowly. "She is not property." The priest did not look at him. "The river does not ask," he replied calmly. Morẹ felt something inside her chest tighten. The priest's eyes finally met hers, and for a moment, she felt seen in a way that unsettled her. Then he turned and disappeared into the dark, leaving the river quiet. too quiet. Love, when forbidden, grows stubborn. Whispers follow them now openly. You are inviting calamity. You are young. You do not understand spirits. But stubbornness can sound like courage when the heart is involved. They chose each other. The town divided like cracked earth. Some said, let them live their lives. Others warned, you do not defy what the river has marked. Olufemi, her father, wrestled with himself nightly. He sat before the shrine fire long after others slept. I would rather anger water, he muttered one night, than bury my daughter while she still breathes. Her mother said nothing, but she began waking from dreams with wet cheeks and no memory of crying. The wedding day arrived bright, too bright. Drums thundered with pride. Women in bright wrappers danced until dust rose around their ankles. Palm wine flowed generously. Laughter returned to Ilu Ayero. Morẹ stood adorned in coral beads that glowed against her skin. She looked radiant, yet her eyes carried something deeper, something thoughtful. Túndé stood beside her, proud and unshaken. The high priest did not bless the union. He only watched. And as vows were spoken, the wind shifted. A hush fell over the drummers. Clouds gathered unnaturally fast. Iro River roared. Guests turned in alarm. There had been no rain, yet the river was swelling, crashing against its banks as if furious. The sky darkened in minutes. Children screamed. Women grabbed their wrappers. Thunder cracked overhead and lightning struck the shrine. Fire erupted along the sacred roof. Gasps turned into chaos. The high priest fell to his knees, not in fear, in fury. You have awakened what was patient. The river surged violently, then stopped. As suddenly as it had risen, the fire burned low. Smoke drifted across the compound. The wedding feast ended in silence. Then came the stillness. Weeks passed, no rain. The clouds disappeared as if ashamed. The earth cracked beneath the sun's unrelenting gaze. The same river that had threatened to swallow the town shrank. Water receded until the riverbed showed its bones. Fish floated lifeless, their silver bellies reflecting a cruel sun. Farmers dug into hardened soil that refused seed. Children stopped playing near the river. Whispers returned. She angered the waters. She broke the balance. Túndé felt their eyes on his back wherever he walked. He tried to fish. There were no fish. He tried to farm. The soil rejected him. At night, he lay awake beside his wife, listening to her breathing grow softer. Morẹ was changing. Her laughter faded. Her skin lost its glow. Sometimes she would stand at the dry river bank and close her eyes. I feel empty, she whispered once. He grabbed her shoulders. You are not empty. But she was not speaking of hunger. She was speaking of something deeper. The high priest gathered the elders beneath the dying shrine. The river has withdrawn its blessing. The elder shifted uneasily. He turned toward Túndé. Balance must be restored. What does that mean? Olufemi demanded sharply. The priest's voice remained calm. The drought will not end unless the river is appeased. The word appeased hung in the air like smoke. No one asked what it meant because everyone knew. Before the town could decide anything, Morẹ became pregnant. The news spread faster than fire in Harmattan. Some saw hope. Perhaps the child will break the curse. Others whispered darker things. The river always collects. The pregnancy drained her. She moved slower, slept longer, dreamed more. And sometimes she woke with the faint scent of river water on her skin. When the child was born, he cried, not a gentle cry, a relentless one, morning, night, without pause. The sound pierced walls, pierced sleep. pierced patience. Midwives tried herbs. Her mother sang ancient lullabies. Nothing worked. The baby screamed as though something inside it ached. Days passed. The town grew restless again. Until one evening, exhausted beyond reason, Morẹ wrapped the child tightly and walked toward the riverbank. The earth beneath her feet was cracked and broken. The river thin and fragile like a wounded snake. She stepped closer. The baby cried and then stopped. Instantly, complete silence. Even the wind seemed to freeze. The thin ribbon of water rippled gently, soft, welcoming. Morẹ stared down at her child. Its eyes were open, wide, not looking at her, looking at the river, studying it, recognizing it, and slowly, the smallest smile formed on its lips. Behind her, a shadow stretched across the dry ground. The high priest stood watching, his voice barely above a whisper. It has begun again.